have learned this week is that I'm a complete ignorant when it comes to the history of my country. Well, I may be exaggerating a bit since I'm probably not a complete ignorant. Long story short, I've lived my entire life believing that the last queen of Bosnia was Queen Catherine. Some of you are now thinking, so what? She was the last queen, so why make such fuss about it? Newsflash, that's not exactly true. Stay tuned to hear the true story about the last queen of Bosnia. I might convince you that the history is not always as boring as some of you might think. As a matter of fact, the history of this country is both controversial and confusing in some aspects. One of those issues is related to the identity of the last queen of Bosnia. Since the last king of Bosnia was indubitably Stephen Tomašević, a logical sequence of events would lead to his wife Marie being the last queen, who she really was. Still, many people, including me, believe that the last queen of Bosnia was actually Catherine. Catherine was the wife of King Stephen Thomas, who preceded the last king. But what are the reasons for such confusion? Let's start from the beginning. In the year 1447, the queen... No, don't press the escape button yet. I was just kidding. I ain't gonna mention years. Well, the only thing that matters is that it took place during the medieval Bosnia, well, the end of it, that is. Who was this Marie anyway? Marie was the daughter of a Serbian despot, and she was named after her father's sister, Sultana Marie, who was the wife of Sultan Murad II. Why am I mentioning this other Marie? Well, she will become an important part of the life of our Marie. When she ascended to the throne, Marie was only 14, so we couldn't expect much from a 14-year-old girl, especially when it comes to dealing with the governmental issues of that time, right? Well, the people of that time did. Marie was always in the shadow of Queen Catherine, often referred to as the Queen Mother. Don't get me wrong, the two of them were in good relations, but the people of Bosnia always felt that Catherine was the one taking care of them and not Marie. So they slowly started neglecting the young and inexperienced Marie. Bosnia ceased to exist as a country of kings and queens when it was taken over by the Ottomans. Both Catherine and Marie then moved to Dubrovnik, where the inhabitants of Dubrovnik started calling Catherine Regina Bosne, or the Queen of Bosnia. Marie started being completely marginalized. Some historians believe that happened because Catherine was the one carrying the royal insignia, that is, the crown and the sword. And that's why they made a tiny little mistake regarding who was the queen. Some, on the other hand, thought that was a matter of religion. Marie was born as an Orthodox, while Catherine was a Catholic, thought the majority of people of Dubrovnik who were also Catholics. Nevertheless, they kept forgetting one important thing, which is that Catherine was also a heretic before becoming a Catholic, so there shouldn't be any doubt that Queen Catherine contributed greatly to the medieval Bosnia. However, there is no way she could be the last queen. She lost her position when Marie's husband came to the throne after hers died. Not long after the Ottomans conquered Bosnia, Marie went to live with her aunt Sultana Marie in Istanbul. Since her life was never easy, Marie went from being a cheerful little girl to an aggressive and paranoid woman who started making the lives of her closest ones miserable. She even tried to get her hands on her aunt Sultana Marie's heritage. Of course, she didn't succeed, but that ended up as a scandal. All of these things contribute to forming an impression of Marie as an evil woman. Logically, she had to move from Istanbul. Marie died in a Thracian area, Serginsian, on an unknown date. And that's where the story ends, seemingly. The life of Queen Marie will always remain a mystery to some extent. She had the position of a last queen, but failed to rule her kingdom. On the other hand, her stepmother-in-law, Queen Catherine, never stopped fighting to regain what the medieval Bosnia had lost. Marie was not of an imposing personality, but whether you wanted it or not, she was the last queen who officially ruled Bosnia. Do you now know who the last queen of Bosnia is?